Hey everyone, Jonathan Miles here. I just want to say thank you so much for supporting us. We really appreciate you all. And I want to give a special shout out to C. Kupfer, Ricardo Siaka, and Henry Littleton. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
How old are you in real life? From Michael Ali.
I was 27 when we filmed the movie. Both Jonathan and I thought we were too old for the roles, but Michelle thought otherwise. And now I'm 32.
I don't know if I want to answer that question. A gentleman should never even ask.
I am turning 26 this December. So I was 21 when we filmed in 2016.
Are you married in real life? Yep.
I've been in a committed relationship for 6 years, but no, not married.
I am in a very serious and committed relationship with myself.
Do you have experience knowing actual gay men who have been or are in a gay relationship that are similar to Justin and Michael? I've known a lot of people from the LGBT community through my experiences living and working in Los Angeles and Hollywood in the film and theater industry. Do I know anybody specifically that Justin and Michael were tailored after? No. I set out to write a love story and it happened to center around two men. I just wanted to write a classic romantic comedy because I do think it's a community that needs more of that and needs a heck of a lot more happy endings.
From Henry Littleton, millions of viewers worldwide on YouTube. Are you feeling any experiences of stardom so far? No, not really.
It was a quality film and had a good message, but I never thought it would get this much exposure worldwide.
It is cool to hear from people all over the world, though, like people who are messaging me on Instagram and stuff and saying, hey, I just watched the film and I love it. And I've heard from some really brave and courageous people who are experiencing something similar to what Justin is going through. I couldn't be more grateful to have the opportunity to help tell stories like theirs so that they can know that they're not alone out there. How much responses from abroad do you get? Any marriage proposals yet?
No proposals. I have distant relatives I've never met that live in Norway that reached out to me.
No, it seems like most of the audience that I'm seeing or hearing from is from abroad. You know, places like Morocco, Australia, India, the UK. But no marriage proposals yet. I have, however, gotten a few, call them indecent proposals. Photographs, so don't need any more of those. Thanks. What wishes would you have for the future development of your character going forward?
I'd really love the audience to see Brooke in a more vulnerable state. So far, we just know her to be the supportive friend who's there for Justin and Michael when they need it, kind of a bit of a comic relief.
The development of his relationship with his parents, and see how that translates into his own parenting. Maybe parenting Justin as well.
In the upcoming short series, we will get to see Brooke potentially in a different light than others would expect. A little bold. Some interesting tidbits we come to find out.
Justin has gone through a lot of trauma, so I'd like to see that he's on the road to recovery. I think it's important that we try to represent that journey accurately. It's going to be hard for him, but I want to see him growing and using the support from his chosen family. It's going to be a painful journey for him.
Is there a reason you chose to have the cast play kid games? Like Chutes and Ladders, Go Fish, Old Maid, etc. Just because we're growing older doesn't mean that we have to lose our sense of youthful fun. I just loved the irony of that idea. I thought it was ironically hysterical that college students would do that because those games are cheap, they're easy to get a hold of. Just take what's in front of you and make it somehow a drinking game.
In times of COVID, what are you doing against the quarantine blues?
My house has never been in better shape. A lot of baking, home cooking projects.
The two main things I've been able to do are continue to work out It's spring here, so I've been doing some gardening.
So grateful to have projects like this to do, so, thanks for giving me a job.
I've been doing a lot of kickboxing at home since the studio's been closed, and I've actually taken up gardening, which is kind of ironic because I usually consider myself a bit of a black thumb. Like, my home is where plants come to die. But this year that seems to have changed.
Lists. I love lists. I am obsessed with list making. Sometimes if I'm doing something that's not on a to-do list, I will literally write it down and then cross it off. I read that when you're not acting, you're a carpenter. Do you build houses or furniture? Actually, a little bit of both. When I'm working on houses, I mostly just do structural framing projects. I can reframe a window for you or hang a lintel piece, but I do find old furniture and rehab that and sell it at thrift stores. And occasionally I do some set building for local theater companies as well.
Was it difficult to keep a straight face working with Jonathan and Bjorn on set? No. When the cameras were rolling, I felt like the three of us kept it rather professional. There's always that possibility, that's where bloopers come from. It's not that it was necessarily hard to keep a straight face. I would say when the camera was rolling, easy as pie. Everybody has a job to do, and for the most part, we could all keep our acts together. When the cameras weren't rolling, yeah, we were all just cracking each other up the whole time.
Are you really as ticklish as you appear to be in the hotel room? No, I used to be. When I was a little kid, my sisters would tickle me until I couldn't breathe, so I simply had to learn how to not be ticklish anymore. But I never forgot what it felt like.
At Brooke's Valentine party, when Michael starts singing his song to Justin, Mark has a look on his face as if he was sort of jealous or envious of what was happening between Michael and Justin. Was his character supposed to have a crush on him? No. Michael and Mark become really good friends. In fact, Mark is Michael's best man at the wedding. And in that moment, I think it was much more about Mark supporting Michael and possibly even guided him towards singing the song that he did.
In the proposal scene, you had a large cut on your arm. Was that from jumping into the tree in the dorm scene or something else? That's actually a burn that you see in the proposal scene. Because of some rights issues with a very expensive Katy Perry song that was in the original. So we reshot that like a year or two later, and at the time I was working as a cook. And I was making chicken for about 5,000 people when somebody accidentally shut an oven door on my arm while I was holding a hotel pan full of chicken. Ouch. In the dorm scene, I did cut my arm on that tree quite a lot, and we filmed it out of order, so when you see me answering the phone and it's my father, you might actually see some scratches on my arm underneath all the makeup that I used to try to cover them up.
What influence has COVID had on your expectations for the future of this heartwarming project? And how may we all help besides giving direct financial support? I've talked to the cast and the crew. We've set dates to film in August. We are enacting our COVID regulations based on the state's requirements. We all need to learn how to live with it and live safely with it. The thing about financial support that a lot of people don't realize is it doesn't take one person giving an astronomically large amount of money. Multiple people giving small amounts adds up to everything that you need, and it's actually much more gratifying because it's a true community effort. An episode costs about $10,000, give or take. It can happen with one person giving us $10,000, but it can also happen with 1,000 people giving us 5. It can happen with 500 people giving us 10. The greatest advertising is always word of mouth. So many of you have shared the film with friends, partners, significant others, and then they have recommended it to their friends, and that's how our film has gotten the amount of views that it's gotten. As long as there is a need, I would love to continue writing Michael and Justin's story.